will be recording this to make sure that if anybody misses this lesson today, that it's provided on the school website. Okay, so part 1, credits. All right, so 26 credits in the correct categories, minimum. So you need 4 credits of English, 4 credits of social studies, 3 credits of math. We encourage 4 credits of math for college, 3 credits of science. We encourage 4 years if you're planning on going to college, 1.5 credits of PE, half credit of health, 1.0 of career and technical education, 2 credits of fine art, 2 credits of world language, 5 credits of electives. And again, Washington State history can be completed in US history, so junior year, or in middle school. A lot of students completed this in middle school. Okay, I know this is a lot of text, but we're going to go over what a personalized pathway is. So personalized pathway is 1 credit or of the 2 credits of fine art and or 2 credits of world language can be substituted with a personalized pathway requirement credits. So personalized pathway are credits that you can take to prepare yourself for your plan after high school. Use of personalized pathway requirements instead of a full amount of fine art or world language must be discussed with your school counselor to ensure you continue to meet graduation requirements. If you choose to access a personalized pathway, instead of taking the full amount of fine art or world language, your career plan essay and your high school and beyond plan, which is done senior year, must talk about what courses you chose to fulfill your personalized pathway and why. And we're going to be going over the high school and beyond plan in a little bit more detail later, but that's where the career plan essay is. If you are 4-year university bound, you most likely will not be using the personalized pathway, but it is still an option for you. Personalized pathway are most often used for scholars who intend to do an apprenticeship, technical school, or go to the military, or go straight to work after graduation. So this is an example of how you can use a personalized pathway. So example, you want to become an apprentice carpenter. So you swap out 1.0 or 1 credit of fine arts for woodworking. You swap out 1.0 of your world language requirement for cabinetry or cabinet making and millwork. When you write your career plan essay, again, in your high school beyond plan, you explain this and how it supports your goals for after high school. One more example is if you want to enlist in the military. Okay, if you plan to enlist in the military, you swap out 1.0 of fine art and 1.0 of world language and 2.0 of world languages with 3 of different ROTC credits. Again, when you write your career plan essay, you will explain this and how it supports your goals. All right, part 2, go ahead and take it away, Ms. Brookbank.
Good morning, everybody. So part 2 of earning a high school diploma includes your graduation pathway. And every student has to have a graduation pathway in order to be able to meet graduation requirements. The graduation requirement or the graduation pathways, there are 3 different options for how to potentially meet your graduation pathway. One of them is the career and technical pathway. The second is the post-secondary pathway. And the third is the military pathway. And you should be selecting your pathway based on what your goals are for after high school. In a CTE pathway, you need to complete 2.0 or more of career and technical education credits in a sequence. That sequence has to include a dual credit course. So a dual credit course is a course that you will earn both high school credit for, and then depending on where you go to school, could potentially also earn a college credit for that course. Or it has to lead to an industry recognized credential. So you have to be getting certifications and stuff at the end of those courses. Some of the examples of our CTE pathways here at Federal Way High School include taking intro to marketing 1 year, and then a marketing student store class the second year. Your marketing student store class is a class that earns college credit, and so it counts as a pathway. Computer applications and then web design, that is also another CTE pathway. Culinary nutrition and ProStart is a CTE pathway. Intro to engineering and principles of engineering, and also intro to computer science and game design, and then AP computer science. Those are all examples of a sequence of 2.0 worth of courses that you can take that will meet that CTE. This explains to you when you're looking into the course catalog, how to figure out if the courses are going to be a CTE sequence or not. And we really encourage you to come and have a conversation with us if this is something you're intending to do, because we need to make plans for that with your credits. But you can look in the course catalog and you will see the different clusters, the different pathway clusters, and you'll notice that it mentions culinary and nutrition and then ProStart. And that is one of our sequences. And the reason you can tell it's a sequence is because it has something circled over in the college credit showing that, yes, it is. It earns college credit, but then also it is in the same cluster within the human services. So that's a way to tell that something is going to be a CTE pathway. The post-secondary grad pathway is a second way that you can meet that pathway. And there is multiple different ways that you can do this. There's testing options, there's coursework options. You can mix and match those options basically, but you have to meet an English language arts state testing standard and a math state testing standard. The post-secondary grad pathway is your testing options include scoring at a level 3 or 4 in your SBA in math and English language arts. So your SBA is the Smarter Balance Assessment. Scoring at a certain score or above with your English language arts and math, taking your SAT or ACT. And then if you are in Cambridge courses, so if you are in ACE level courses in your junior or senior year and you take those exams, or if you're in AP classes and you take those exams, those scores could potentially meet cutoffs for English language arts and math as well. With regards to coursework options, you have college courses at Running Start. So if you take an English 101 course and then a math like 107 course at the community college as a part of your Running Start program, that will meet your state testing requirements. Again, we covered the Cambridge courses, but Cambridge with a B or better also can meet your state testing. For many seniors, they go into the Bridge to College Math and Bridge to College English courses. These courses are designed to kind of prepare you for college level English and math, but successful completion of those courses over the course of the entire year can stand to meet your state testing. And then CTE dual credit options, that's math specifically. And so we would recommend coming and talking to your counselor if you are going to take advantage of that. The third pathway that is available is a military grad pathway. This is for students who are specifically considering enlisting into some branch of the military once they graduate from high school. You have the option of potentially taking the ASVAB, which you would have to do in order to enlist in the military anyway. And those scores can potentially come back to meet your state testing requirements. You would do your testing through your military recruiter as a part of your process of enlisting, and return and bring those scores back to us in order to potentially submit them to state testing standard. And it would have to be at a 31 or above. So now we're going to cover information about part 3, which is the high school and beyond plan. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Parody.
Good morning, my turn. Okay, so unless you're a senior, this is more about just thinking ahead and knowing what's going to be required of you when you graduate. And most of this you'll work on your senior year. The elements of the high school and beyond plan that you'll need to finish in order to graduate high school is a career interest profiler, a career plan essay, proof that you've either been accepted to college, enlisted in the military, you have a job, and we would want that job to align with your graduation pathway. Also, parts of your high school and beyond plan include a resume, a letter of recommendation, applying for a scholarship. And that's relevant even if you're not going to go to college, because there's lots of other things that scholarships can help you with, trade school and even military classes. We also want you to complete the FAFSA and do 24 hours of community service. Because of COVID, this year's seniors, the requirement is 15 hours, but starting next year, we'll go back to the standard 24 hours of community service. Now, how to know, are you on track to graduate? This is what you can do to find out. You can check your graduation status profile, which is in Student View. And again, we know some of you don't have access to Student View right this minute, but we definitely want to be sure that you have that figured out before Thursday at the latest. But if you already do have access to Student View, you can go in there and check to see which credits you've completed and what you still need to do to graduate. And this is what that's going to look like in your Student View account. You have the menu on the left, and you're going to click on the course history. Once you're in the course history, you find the detail, and you want to toggle it to on. If you already have access to Student View on your phone, it's okay if you try this right now. Once you toggle that to on, this is what you're going to see. All those 26 credits that are required and where you stand with each of them. If it's green, that means you've already done it. Great job. If it's yellow, that means you're in progress. You're in that class, taking that credit right now. And if it's gray, it means you haven't done it yet, still to be completed. Now we're looking at a junior's profile here, and you can see the one section that's completely gray is civics. And that's because that's a senior year class. So we would expect that to still be gray. We would expect you to still have a credit of English for senior year. You can also look down in the lower section and see in the numbers what you've done, what you've completed, and what you have in progress. If any of this is confusing, and we know this is a ton of information you're getting today, but if specifically you look at this and you think, I thought I took this credit, or I'm confused, we're here to help explain this to you. Come by the office. Miss Gonzalez or Miss Duncan can help you make an appointment on our calendar if we're busy, or email us. We'll set up an appointment. That's what we're here for. If you want to kind of check this on your own, you can do your own credit check, and this is how. You can pick up this credit check form. We gave some to your teachers. You can get one from them. If you misplace that, you can come by counseling. We have extras. And as you can see, there's a box for every semester, every 0.5 credit that you need to graduate. And this is what the form looks like. In order to pass each of those semesters, you need at least a 2.0 or higher. So if you pass your English Language Arts 9th grade first semester, you can put an X in that box. The way you do your own credit check is to just X out every semester of every class that you've already passed. So if you're going to use Student View to help fill out this form, you can see that, for example, the English, it says that this student completed 2.5 credits of English already. And so they can go ahead where that English is circled in red and X out all of those boxes. And then the blue circle for the English shows what they're currently taking. When you do this, it helps you really see very visually what you still need to finish in order to graduate. Or maybe there's been something along the way that you didn't pass. It helps you remember, I got to make that up. A lot of our students have transferred in. We want you to take health in 9th grade, but sometimes that doesn't work out, or you transfer in from a school that didn't have you take health in 9th grade. This is a good way to help you remember, oh, right, I still need health. You can also get this information from your transcript. And we do have a video that we're going to play now that shows you how to get the credit check information from your transcript. So just be patient for a minute while we get that started.
Hey, real quick, I know I have to be able to share with sound. Do you remember what button I need to click on for that?
I think you just can't be muted and you have to have your sound on.
Hey, Brad, there's no sound on that.
Hey, real quick, can someone help me with the tip of being able to share? Oh, share sound. Okay, let's try this. Let me know if this still doesn't work.
Today, I'm here to talk to you about credits. What is a credit? Each semester class is worth a half a credit. If you pass the class, you get the credit. If you fail the class, you have no credit. Where do we keep track of credits? On a transcript. What is a transcript? A transcript is a permanent record of what classes you took in high school and the grades you earned in the class. Here's an example of a transcript. Notice, all of your classes are on here, the grades you earned in them, and the credits you earned for taking those classes. Who is interested in viewing your transcript? Many people. Colleges, employers, parents, insurance companies, people awarding scholarships. What are they looking for? They're looking for your GPA, your grade point average. If you get an A in a class, you get a 4. B is a 3, C is a 2, and F is 0. Your cumulative GPA is an average of these. They're also looking for rigor. Did you take honors classes, IB classes, CATERs, which are college prep classes? All of these can be found on your transcript using this legend. A B indicates a CATER class or a college prep class. An I is IB. So using these codes, you can see how rigorous your classes are on your transcript. 26. This is the minimum number of credits you need to earn a high school diploma. On your transcript, there are 2 columns. There's one column that tells you what credits you earned, and one column that tells you what credit was attempted. If you pass, you have a 0.5. If you fail, it'll be a 0. Another thing that's on your transcript are your state test scores and your high school and beyond plan. If you met the state test, it'll be on the last page, and the same thing with the high school and beyond plan. A credit tracker is what the counselors use to keep track of what credits you've earned. Here's an example of a credit tracker. Notice your credits have to be in certain areas: English, history, math, science, and so forth. The idea is to fill in the boxes and earn your credits towards graduation. When you're tracking your credits, think of filling buckets. There's a bucket for each subject area. Now I'm going to take the semester 1 9th grade classes and sort them. Algebra 1 goes in the math bucket. Approaches to learning, that's an elective, so it goes into the elective bucket. English Language Arts 9 goes into the English bucket. Japanese 1 goes into the world language bucket. NGSS biology, that goes into the science bucket. Recreational sports, that goes into the PE bucket. Robotics, that class goes into occupational ed or CTE bucket. And world history 9, that goes into the social studies bucket. Some classes can count in more than one subject area. Put that class into one bucket or the other. Anytime you fill a bucket, any additional classes that you take in that subject area will go into the elective bucket. If you fail a class, it doesn't go into any bucket at all. Now I'm going to show you doing a credit check with that same transcript, but now using our blue credit tracker form. So I have algebra, which would be math, approaches to learning, elective, English, Japanese, biology, rec sports, robotics, world history 9, algebra, approaches to learning, photography. So I was going to put that in occupational, but I'm going to move it to fine art because it can count for either. English, Japanese, biology, rec sports, world history.
Do we want to finish the course catalog or move on?
I think we have time to finish it.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
Now that you know how to review your transcripts and credits, the next step is to review your own transcript, which can be found in your Student View account. To access your Student View, please visit www.grades.fwps.org to log in. If you don't remember your login information, reach out to your teacher and they can connect you to the person in your building that can reset it for you. Also, it's important to consult the course catalog for options, the course sequences, and useful tools like the credit tracker. If you failed a class previously, it is teacher about what the next course in that sequence is like. For example, if you are currently taking Algebra 1, talking to your teacher about what geometry is like will help make sure you are more prepared. You may be asking yourself, what is the course catalog? The course catalog is a complete guide to all of the classes that Federal Way Public Schools offers from grades 6 through grade 12. It also includes resources and worksheets like the credit tracker for planning your future classes and getting onto the pathway of your dreams. It also helps you figure out which credit belongs in which bucket. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher or your school counselor in support of registration. Thank you, Federal Way, and have a great rest of your day.
Hey, are they going to be giving those, are we giving those purple forms out right now to students, or are we holding on to that?
You can give them to the students at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Perfect.
Ms. Parody, would you like to?
Sure. So what do you do if you fail the class? Well, it depends on your situation. One choice, and it also kind of depends on which class it is that you failed. One choice would be to retake the class. One choice would be to make up the class in credit recovery. One choice would be to do summer school, which is similar to credit recovery, but it's done during the summertime. And sometimes if you do well enough on the SBA, the SAT, or the ACT, we can award a competency credit that's specific to English or math. And again, make an appointment with us if you have any questions about this. We could give you advice on the best way to make up whatever you failed. So for tonight, this is your to-do, your homework from the counselors. Make sure you can log into Student View. That's like the #1 priority. If it would be best if you could do that before you leave school today, so you can let your advisory teacher know if we need to help you out with that. But once you do get home, talk to your family. What are your goals after high school? You know, sometimes you don't know yet, or it's hard to think about, but it is helpful if you could at least think about things that you know you would enjoy. Check. It will help you know exactly what you need to register for on Thursday. And tomorrow we'll talk to you some more, and we're going to really dig into your 4-year plan and how to read the course catalog. And now you can get your handouts.
So a lot of people have been asking about the course catalog. So I put a link for that into the chat. There's also a link on the Padlet for it. And then teachers, if you choose to hand out the course request sheets for students to look at today, make sure you collect them at the end of the period so that they don't get lost at home overnight, because we'll need them for Thursday.
Reese, are there any other questions that was a theme that we might have time to answer?
Not really. There's just lots of stuff about specific credits. There was a question about grad pathways that was asking how many pathways somebody had to meet to be able to use the career and college pathway. So each student only needs one grad pathway. So ideally you match that pathway to what your goal is for after high school. I think other than that, you guys have a little bit of time to look at your transcripts, look at your credit checks, kind of start wrapping your head around that before the period ends, and then you can work on that some at home tonight so that you're ready for tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, bye.